All right, good evening, everybody. According to the MacBook Pro to my left here, it's 7:30, so we'll go ahead and we'll commence with the meeting. So I'd like to welcome everybody to this meeting of the Village of Skokie Zoning Board of Appeals. The Zoning Board of Appeals is created by the statutes of the state of Illinois and by the ordinances of the Village of Skokie for the purpose of granting proper case relief from the strict terms of our zoning ordinances. The decision of this board to either grant or deny relief will be based upon the evidence presented to it and how that evidence is related to the standards for granting relief. All persons who have an interest in a case, either as a petitioner or as a member of the public, either supporting or opposing the petition, or as an independent witness, will be given a chance to speak on the record and express his or her points of view. The Zoning Board of Appeals is not a court of law, and therefore we do not follow the strict rules of evidence. However, this hearing will be conducted in such manner as to hear only competent evidence or statements. Questions as to procedure, interpretation, and of the admissibility of statements or evidence will be ruled upon by Corporation Counsel Tyler Kobilski, and his legal decisions will be binding upon this board. Certain cases require a covenant running with the land. This will be prepared and recorded by the Village of Skokie Legal Department, and this is done at the petitioner's expense. Whether or not a covenant is required is a determination to be made by the Corporation Counsel at the conclusion of each individual case. If a covenant running with the land is required, it cannot or will not be prepared until our court reporter has returned to the Zoning Board of Appeals a transcript of these proceedings. The Village of Skokie will notify each petitioner when the covenant has been prepared and is ready for signature. No building permits can be applied for or issued until the covenant is signed by the petitioner. Should a petition for variation be denied, or should a covenant not be required, the Board of Trustees will authorize a refund of any required fees. Let's see. Should it be necessary for the petitioner to request a continuance due to lack of preparation, a case continuation fee of 1/2 of the original application fee is due prior to the rehearing date. This request must be made before any testimony begins. All petitioners must receive a vote of the majority of the zoning board present in order to decide any matter under consideration. Our full complement is 9 members, and tonight's complement is 9 members, making 5 votes necessary to make a determination on a petition. Okay, we have 2 cases tonight. We have 2018-06Z, 55 Salem Lane. And we have a continuation of a case that we've heard a couple times now, 2018-03Z, 3825 Brummel Street. And in these 2 cases, I will ask Corporation Counsel, has proper notice been served and notarized?
Notice is proper and correct.
All right, very good. Okay. If you would, the people that are going to be presenting their cases tonight, would you all please rise so that I may swear you in? Okay. Do you affirm that the testimony you are about to give is true and correct to the best of your knowledge and belief? Please answer in the affirmative.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody not answer in the affirmative? Okay. Thank you. All right. You may be seated. Okay. Let's see. We'll go ahead too, and in our packet for the evening, we have the notes from our meeting on July 18th. A busy evening it was. There was 3 cases that night. And I'm sure everybody's had a chance to read these. One case was a 2018-03Z, which we are continuing tonight. The other 2 were 2018-04Z, 3921 to 3925 Howard Street. Variation that was for parking that was approved unanimously, and 2018-05Z, 9536 Avers, which was a continuation of a non-conforming addition that was approved unanimously. If everybody's had a chance to check over the minutes, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, Commissioner Jacobson, do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Gersner, everybody in favor, voice vote, please?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, anybody opposed? No? Oh. Thank you, Marlene. Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll move forward with the presentation of the first case tonight. So would the petitioners for 2018-06C, 55 Salem Lane, please make their way to the podium. And while you do that, Commissioner Arden is presenting your case tonight. So Sean, the floor is yours.
Okay, case 2018-6Z, 55 Salem Lane. Julian Vickers and Isabel Machado Quinones request a variation in order to construct a second four-bedroom addition resulting in the continuation of one motor vehicle off-street parking space rather than the minimum two as required by sections 118-201-2 and 118-2181 of the zoning chapter of the Skokie Village Code in an R1 single-family district. Now to read the petitioner's statement. Dear Community Development Department, this letter is to request and substantiate the granting of a variance for a residence at 55 Salem Lane in Skokie. Parking variation. The petitioner requests a variance to be able to build an additional bedroom, allowing the existing garage space. The reason for that is because there is a limitation on use of the property due to physical, topographical, and geological features. We do not have allies in our neighborhood. This request is not based solely on economic reasons, but on the need to expand our existing living space due to growing children and the fact that one of our existing bedrooms is very small. This request is the minimum variance necessary to allow reasonable use of the property because one of the existing bedrooms is almost unusable. Also, there are numerous homes in our neighborhood with the same burden that have gone through the process of building an additional bedroom, and we all have faced the same issue. Now for the staff report. This was approved by the Appearance Commission at its June 13th, 2018 hearing. And the staff analysis, the Forestry Division, Water and Sewer, and Community Development Department have no objections. So based on the proposed findings of fact, staff has no objections to the petitioner's request to construct a second floor addition resulting in the continuation of one off-street motor vehicle parking space.
Okay, great. All right, thank you, Sean. Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
May we have your name and spell it so we have it for the record, please?
Yeah, okay, I'm Julian Vickers,
Okay,
spelled Julian.
okay,
I-C-K-E-R-S.
okay. All right, thanks, Julie.
My name is very long. Isabel Machado Quinones is I-S-A-B-E-L. Last name is M-A-C-H-A-T-O-Q-U-I-N-O-N-E-S.
All right, very good. And who would like to speak first on the reason why we're all here tonight?
Yeah, I think the reason was reasonably well summarized and read out, but we have a normal-sized family here, I guess, and the upstairs living space in the house is very tight. In looking around our neighborhood, you know, we've seen additions similar to this one done, where a fourth bedroom has been added on to these houses. The homes in the neighborhood are all very, very similar. So the addition that we're proposing is really very similar to what's been done in the neighborhood before, and would give us the additional living space upstairs and privacy upstairs that we'd like to not only afford ourselves, but afford our children as they get older. They're, you know, starting middle school, one of them, and you know, it would be good for us to all have a little bit more living space upstairs. You know, not only for us to have privacy, but also for the children as they get older to have desks in their bedrooms so that they can study and have some private space, as opposed to having to do those things in, shall we say, the common areas of the house. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's really our main motivation, unless you have anything you want to add. Yeah.
Okay, great. That being said, I'll let Commissioner Arden give us his impressions on the case.
Sure, I went out to the property and I didn't see an issue with the parking, so I think this would be a great idea for them.
Okay. Short, simple, and sweet. Anybody have any questions or comments? Yeah, Commissioner Franklin.
I was just going to say that also having been to the property, this is definitely consistent with what is going on on the street and in the neighborhood. So it fits right in.
All right, very good. Anybody else? No? I do have one question, which I found intriguing in your petitioner statement. You mentioned in the end of the first paragraph, we do not have allies in our neighborhood?
Alleys.
Alleys, yeah, it's alleys, not allies.
Alleys, not
I was thinking, actually, we have really, really nice neighbors, so I was wondering where that came from, so,
Yeah. Yeah, autocorrect, yeah. Okay.
probably, yeah.
Great, thank you very much. All right,
They
and,
do have allies, and that's the.
yeah, that's,
They do have allies, not do not.
we do not have. Never
Well, I would
mind.
say we do have allies, and we do
Right.
not have alleys, so.
No
All right.
allies, lots of allies.
lots.
Right, okay, very good. Because that being said, they were all entitled to notice, and obviously, they've given their acquiescence by not showing up, so, you know, they're not here to complain or otherwise give any sort of objection to your project, so that's good to see. So you do have allies in the neighborhood.
We
All
think
right,
so.
good.
Yeah,
All right.
we like to think so.
All right, great. How long have you lived in the house now?
We've been there since July of 2011,
Oh, okay, great.
and really love the neighborhood and want to stick around, so,
Yeah, you like New England Village?
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's a nice community.
Great, fantastic. Okay. Any other questions for petitioner, staff? Anything? No? Okay. If there's no other questions, comments, et cetera, then your chair will entertain a motion.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I propose the following findings of fact and the granting of a variation to the petitioner as follows. That Julian Vickers and Isabel Machado Quinones are the owners of the lot described in case number 2018-6Z for the property located at 55 Salem Lane, Evanston, Cook County, Illinois. That said lot is a plotted lot of record and is abutted by single-family dwellings on the east and west. That a determination is made in which the petitioner's request is consistent with the majority of the findings of fact as stated in the Village of Skokie zoning chapter. I therefore propose the following variances be granted to the petitioner for giving failure to comply with the requirements of the zoning ordinance of the Village of Skokie as amended to off-street parking requirements. That the petitioner be granted a variance to construct a second four-bedroom addition resulting in the continuation of one motor vehicle off-street parking space rather than the two minimum as required by sections 118-2012 and 118-2181 of the zoning chapter of the Skokie Village Code in an R1 single-family district, that all other codes and ordinances of the Village of Skokie shall be fully and strictly complied with.
Okay, great, thank you very much. We have a motion to approve without conditions. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, Commissioner Shaw, I believe that was. Okay, so the chair will go ahead and take the roll then. Commissioner Salvi?
Aye.
Commissioner Arden?
Aye.
Commissioner Kirkpatrick?
Aye.
Commissioner Jacobson?
Aye.
Commissioner Gersner?
Aye.
Let's see, Commissioner Shaw?
Yes.
Commissioner Franklin?
Aye.
Commissioner Perlin?
Yes.
And the chair will vote aye. Okay, so in the case of 2018-06Z, the request for the variation has been approved unanimously without conditions. Congratulations.
I have a question.
Oh,
It was read into the record that the address is in Evanston. Is it in Evanston or is it in Skokie?
You asking me?
Yes.
That might be for
Counsel.
the postal office. I know we had this issue in the past because we have some board members that live in Skokie, but for the post office, they call it Evanston.
right. Or,
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I understand.
That's.
yes,
If I
staff,
may,
how
it's
does the
60203.
Skevinston issue be resolved?
What Commissioner Kirkpatrick stated, it's in the village limits of Skokie, but has an Evanston mailing address. That is correct. They will apply for a permit with the village of Skokie.
So in the record, the address is in Skokie.
But their mailing address technically is Evanston, Illinois 60202, 203, yes.
Okay.
And subject to the Skokie jurisdiction for zoning.
Right. But in the but in the motion, it should be a Skokie address.
It's an Evanston mailing address. They're located in the village of Skokie.
Okay.
There you go, there you go.
Welcome to
What-
Skokie.
One of these days, I would really like it to be legally referred to as Skevinston, and then that way it covers all the bases, you know? So, congratulations.
Thank you.
But before you walk away, though, I'm going to ask Corporation Counsel, what does the petitioner need to know from here on out?
We will be preparing a covenant, and that'll take us approximately a week and a half to 2 weeks, and when it's ready, the property owners will sign it, and then you can apply for your permits.
Okay. So how will we receive notification that
We'll
it's done?
notify you.
Okay.
We
By
will.
mail, I suppose, or?
I don't know, honestly.
We'll send
Marlene,
it
do you
to
call them?
Okay, so it'll come through the mail then?
Email.
Email, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Better.
Right, and, yeah, email you in Skokie.
Email you in
yes.
Skokie.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. Okay, that's it then.
Okay,
Congratulations, good luck with your project.
thank you very much.
Okay, great. All right. We have that out of the way. So now we come to our most recent incarnation of this case, 2018-03Z, 3825 Brummel Street. And as the petitioner steps up to the podium, much of this has already been noted in previous records, but there is some obviously new information that has transpired since then, and especially with the staff report. So I'll let Commissioner Shah, who is presenting the case, go ahead and read the pertinent new information into the record.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On Sunday, August 12, 2018, Paul Ojaski submitted an email describing a proposed solution to obtain an approximate 28-foot, 3-inch building height. And I think he sent an email to the staff. In the email, the owner proposed to raise the grade to a 3-inch below the siding rather than the 6-inch requirement as stated in the International Residential Code. Please see the attached section R404.1.6 of the International Residential Code. Staff appreciate the effort put forth by the petitioner. Staff would prefer a slight building height variation with condition to be building code variation. Staff recommends the petitioner height variation request be approved with the following condition. Regrade the lot so the finished grade is approximately 6 inches below siding. A licensed engineer must be sure directional flow on the existing topographic plan to slow pre-existing overland flow. The proposed topographic/grading plan must include provision to get any warehouse, downspout, and sump pump discharge via pop-up to the front yard, regrading to improve side drainage, and a drainage statement for the site that the neighboring properties will not be negatively impacted. Building height of approximately 28 foot 6 inch.
Okay, great. I think that'll be adequate. Thank you, Commissioner Shah. Good evening.
Good evening.
I know we've been through this routine before, sir, but could you please tell us who you are and spell your name so we may have it in the record?
Sure. I'm Paul Orzeski, last name Orzeske.
All right, great. Thank you, Mr. Ozeski. And please, tell us why we're here tonight. What new developments have occurred since we did the continuation of your case last month?
Actually, talking with staff, we came up with a solution on using a civil engineer, we came up with a survey of the existing conditions. From there, we've determined with Mr. Augustine on a solution with these 4 conditions, where we will provide a grading plan first, based on approval from staff, implement the grading plan, and then also install the pop-ups as stated within line item number 3 to ensure that we're not getting any overflow from downspouts onto adjacent properties.
Okay. Great. Commissioner Shah, do you have any new insights as far as this is concerned?
I have one question for Brian. We are asking them to, instead of 3 inch below their siding for the 6 inch as requirement, Because of that, is it the building height approximately go up like 3 inch more?
Well, the petitioner's proposal was to raise the grade to approximately 3 inches below siding, which would have had the building height roughly at approximately 28 foot 3 inches. But because there's a building code requirement that requires it to be 6 inches below, staff discussed, and the recommendations specifically from Nathan Kriska, who's a licensed architect, and the head plan reviewer building supervisor, was staff felt more comfortable with a 28-foot 6-inch building and meeting the building code requirement without giving any kind of variation in the building code requirement. So we're meeting the intent of the building code, which is grade at 6 inches below siding. And then the petitioner is going to have to develop a nice grading plan to, you know, and basically number 3, topographic grading plan based on engineering's conditions to get the downspouts from the rear, sump pump discharge out to the front, and a plan just to show that we're not impacting the neighborhood or the neighbors. Staff felt much more comfortable with a variation of 6 inches rather than 3 inches and meeting the building code requirements with a good grading plan that will work for the neighbors and the subject site.
And I assume that it's agreeable by the petitioner?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of happy to see that you're working with the staff and engineering department, so.
And very thankful. Staff has been extremely helpful.
That's why we love him so much. Any other questions for Mr. Rozeski or staff at all? No? No? Quiet in here tonight. Boy, you can almost hear the rain outside. That being said, we have right on the screen, Mr. Rozeski, you see that the conditions that staff has proposed in order for your variation to be approved, the line item 1, 2, 3, and 4, you're comfortable with meeting all those requirements?
Yes, I am.
Okay, very good. If there's no other questions, then the chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to grant a variance. Mr. Chairman, I propose the following in the granting of the variance to the petitioner as follows. That Mr. Paul R. Ojanski is the owner of the lot described in the case number 2018-03Z for the property located at 3825 Brumell Street, Skokie, Cook County, Illinois. That said lot is plotted lot of record and is habited by a building site on the south of the Brumell Street. The determination has been made in which the petitioner request is consistent with the majority of the finding in fact as stated in the Village of Skokie zoning chapter. I therefore propose that variance be granted to the petitioner for giving failure to comply with the requirement of zoning ordinance of the Village of Skokie as amended as structure height. That the petitioner be granted the variance 3825 Brumell LLC, managed by Paul R. Ojanski, requests the variation in order to maintain 28-foot 6-inch tall building rather than 28-foot maximum as required by section 118-112 3B of the zoning chapter of the Skokie Village Code in R2 single family district with the following condition. Regrade the lot so the finished grade is approximately 6 inches below siding. A licensed engineer must be show directional flow on the existing topographic plan to show pre-existing overland flow. The proposed topographic/grading plan must include provision to get any warehouse, downspout, and sump pump discharge via pop-up to the front yard, regrading to the improved site drainage and drainage statement for the site that the neighboring property will not be negatively impacted. Building height of approximately 28 foot 6 inch. and that all other codes and conditions of the village of Skokie shall be fully and strictly complied with.
All right, very good. Very good, Commissioner Shaw. That was a pretty complex, motion to grant, so well done. We have a motion to grant with the 4 conditions. Do I have a second?
Second.
Let's see. We'll give it to Commissioner Perlin. That sounds good. Okay. That being said, the chair will go ahead and entertain the motion, and we will start with Commissioner Salovey.
I just want to say yes, but I've been sitting here thinking about this whole process. This is a wonderful example of how the Skokie Village, the commission, helps the citizens of Skokie in a very positive way. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree, yes, definitely. And I'm speaking as a non-citizen, but yes.
So I take that as a yes. Okay, all right, very good. Commissioner Arden.
Yes.
Commissioner Kirkpatrick.
Aye.
Commissioner Jacobson.
Aye.
Commissioner Gersner.
Aye.
Commissioner Franklin. Commissioner Shaw.
Yes.
Commissioner Franklin.
Aye.
Commissioner Perlin.
Yes.
And the chair will vote aye. So in the matter of 2018-03Z, the motion to grant the variation is approved with the 4 conditions, as Commissioner Shaw has read into the motion to grant. So congratulations. I know this has been kind of a long and winding road, and I just want to say one thing, and to back up with Commissioner Salovey said, and something that the previous chairman of this board said. We are not a punitive board. That is not our intent. And especially in light of the way that you and Mr. Augustine and the rest of the staff have worked well together in trying to resolve this issue, I find it very commendable all the way around. Any sort of lesser cooperation probably would have been met with a not very favorable result, but this is something that I find to be extremely heartwarming, so to speak. But also, too, I want this to serve as an admonishment for any future builders to not exceed. You told the line really close, and you went over.
Well,
And obviously, there's been extra time and expense and stuff that has been, encountered by you in order to get this done. So if things were followed a little bit more reasonably in the first place, this never would have happened.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I thank all the board members, and it's been wonderful coming here and discussing this with you, but don't take offense. I'm glad I don't have to come back next month.
So are we.
Yeah, right. It's good to finally get an amicable resolution of this, so
Yes, it is.
congratulations, and, hope everything works out for you.
Thank you very much.
So he will have to sign a covenant.
Yes,
But
I almost forgot after my speechifying there. Corporation Counsel, what does the petitioner need to know from here on out?
Yes, we will prepare the covenant just like the last petitioners. They'll be ready in about 2 weeks, and we'll notify you by email, as I understand it now.
So you can start working on number 2 and number 3, but we would not be able to do a final inspection and issue a final certificate until the covenant's signed and then all the conditions are met.
Okay, great. Thanks, Mr. Rozeski.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Have a great evening.
Okay.
Enjoy the weather.
Oh, yeah, you betcha. Yeah, if I'm a duck, no problem. Okay, great. Well, it's nice to have an amicable resolution to that case. That's it for the evening. Our next meeting will be September 5th, in which we will have 2018-07Z, 9441 Kenneth Avenue. And that case has yet to be assigned, so staff will notify us as to who the case will be assigned to.
Yeah, it would have been assigned to Commissioner Salovey, who was absent in a prior meeting, and so I believe you will not be at this. So I'll go through the agenda and list and see what else is coming up, so we'll get that out sooner than later.
Okay, great. All right, anything else anybody wants to bring up? If not, then this meeting of the Village of Skokie Zoning Board of Appeals is adjourned. Thank you very much. Good night.